1820 good. Good evening. We'll start. So again to recollect, in the first two sessions we have completed the topics of which topics? Parliament, State Legislative Assembly, President and Governor, Council of Ministers. Amele? Any other topics? Parliamentary committees, etc. I hope you have revised whatever we discussed. For example, we discussed that how the topic of Parliament was subdivided into topics. Remember? So, for example, if I am supposed to read the chapter of Parliament, I am going to focus majorly on areas like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then bills. Again, in bills we discussed Money Bill, Finance Bill 1 and 2, Constitutional Amendment Bill and Ordinary Bill. Remember? So this is how you are going to study while you start reading Lakshmikant or Polity. And apart from this, we also discussed about committees. Again, in committees, either they ask us Departmental Standing Committee or which is the other committee? Public Account Committee, Estimates Committee and Public Undertaking Committee. These are the committees that has to be and that will be asked. And then another topic that we discussed was funds. Funds and the gap of which funds are there? Consolidated Fund of India, Contingency Fund of India, Public Account of India. Again, in this they will ask who has the power to control the funds of these resources, etc. Along with this, we also discussed about speaker. We have not come. Speaker is a separate topic. Again, we'll do it in the next class. One more topic I discussed was quorum, functioning of the house. For example, prorogation, summoning, adjournment, sign time. Are you understanding? Questions will come from these subheadings. Anything else we have discussed? Governor. Yes, we have discussed governor. Election of president. Again, we observed that how repetitively these questions are coming. Today, again, we will move to two important topics. That is judiciary and grassroots governance or grassroots democracy. Meanwhile, we had given two homeworks. Many students online have completed the homework and sent. Very good. Those, any of you have done the homework? Again, what was the homework? Again, one is vice president. So we'll discuss broadly what we should be reading about vice president today. And one more is questions on parliamentary form of government or features of parliamentary form of government. And again, I am not referring to just 10 to 12 years, but 25 years of PYQs. Why? Because we are observing that questions are copy pasted. Today, while doing judiciary, you will see not even options are changed by UPSC. Understood? So, again, if we read judiciary, we will come to know that there are 3 to 4 broad sections of judiciary. Questions will come from those. Okay? Let us start with the questions regarding parliamentary government. And again, you observe that answers also are the same. So, I hope it is visible. Yes? So, let us start with, in context of India, which of the following principles are implied institutionally in the parliamentary government? Okay. So, again, let us see the options. Ministers of the cabinet are ministers of the parliament. True or false? Again, sometimes you will not know the option. At that time, let us wait. It is our duty to read all three options before judging it. Okay. If you know, yes, it is right, yes, or else let us wait. Come to the second option. Ministers hold the office till they enjoy the confidence of the parliament. Obviously, parliament, whenever it makes up its mind by passing no confidence motion, the entire ministers can cease to exist. Correct? Third option. Cabinet is headed by the head of the state. Again, don't get confused. Head of the state is different. Head of the government is different. So, who heads the cabinet? Who is the head of the state, by the way? Sorry. At this point of time, remember I tell you, whenever you see something, write down there. When you write whatever you know, you will get clarity. So, obviously, option 3 is wrong. So, let us try to eliminate option 3. And now, I don't even have to confirm option 1 or 2. Directly, I got the answer as 1 and 2. Getting it? Again, observe what was the demand here. Cabinet is the head of the state. Instead of head of the government, they have changed it. Any doubts? This was question number 1. I brought 5 questions on the same topic. And I have not generated this. This is UPSC. Yes, please read the question. There is a parliamentary system of government in India because Lok Sabha is directly elected by the people. Factually correct, but is it the answer to my question? Factually, is it correct? Let us come to the second question. Parliament can amend the constitution. Parliament can amend the constitution. This is also factually correct. But is there any link between this and parliamentary system of government? Come to point number 3. Rajya Sabha cannot be dissolved. Again true. But is there any link to the question? But see here. Council of Ministers is responsible to the Lok Sabha. Again, if you know the very purpose why India got parliamentary form of government rather than presidential form of government was we wanted responsibility rather than stability. Understood? So going by this, what is the answer? Council of Ministers is responsible to the Lok Sabha. Again, what students do, the mistakes they do, as soon as they see the first option, it's a very correct statement, let me mark it right. But again, we have to find the nearest option here. Which is the nearest or the closest option? Council of Ministers is responsible to the Lok Sabha. Correct? This was second question on parliamentary form of government. Again, come back. Cabinet form of government. Out of the following statements, choose the one that brings out the principles underlying the cabinet form of government. Again, I'll read. An arrangement for minimizing the criticism against the government whose responsibilities are complex and hard to carry out to the satisfaction of all. And if you observe, this is a manufactured statement. What do you mean by manufactured statement? Some person setting the paper, he has sat down and he has written a wrong statement. Second option, a mechanism for speeding up the activity of the government whose responsibility are increasing day by day. What speed will happen if there is cabinet? Is there any link? Let us come to the third option. A mechanism of parliamentary democracy for ensuring collective responsibility of the government to the people. Correct or wrong? Correct. Chances are there. Iradral, you have three options. This is the closest we have seen. Let us come to the fourth option. A device for strengthening the hands of the head of the government whose hold over the people is in a state of decline. You observe. Again, purposely he has made the statement wrong. Again, which is the closest option? Are you observing? The same thing again and again is being asked. Also, one more hint. This is more like what you can say is a trick that usually works. Whenever you see a statement, two statements with the same starting, answer will be one of those. Here in B and C, a mechanism antane start agtidiya. Is it starting with a mechanism? 99%. Go back and see empirical evidence, PYQs. 99% of the time, either of them is going to be the answer, and this is true here also. Getting it? Why? Because UPSC sometimes, again, knowledge alone will not help us clear the exam. Small observations like this. I think this is the third observation I am telling you. First class, I told you about one trick. What was the trick? Very good. Odd man out. Naapka idea? Remember? Yes. What is the other thing I told? Two to three things I had made you right. One was odd man out. Amel? Even I should go back and see that video. Manu, welcome. Very good. First knowledge admele logic admele trick. Okay, sir has told odd man out. First let me play odd man out. That should not be the game. Okay. Along with this, I told you, whenever you see something, write down whatever you know about the topic. Ivaga, for example, with regard to Article 280, which of the following is correct? What comes to your mind whenever you see Article 280? Finance. Write down Finance Commission. So that kind of gives you confidence also. All right. What is the question? The main advantage of parliamentary form of government is the executive and legislature work independently. It provides continuity of policy and is more efficient. The executive remains responsible to the legislature. Head of the government cannot be changed without election. Answer in? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಅಗೇನ್ 4 questions, same topic, same answer also. Answer ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? Did you see any change in the answers also? So UPSC is testing the basics of our understanding of parliamentary form of government, because India adopted parliamentary or presidential form of government. Is asking the same features again and again. Again, last question. I want you to see the closest option. Take your time. A parliamentary system of government. Again, parliamentary system anta don't put something, just write down India. India anta bardodi. It becomes more easier. Presidential andre write USA. And here, all political parties in the parliament are represented in the government. True or false? Chance illa. Okay? Or you don't know. If you don't know, wait. Come to the second option. The government is responsible to the parliament and can be removed by it. Chances are there? Very high chances are there. But I will see option 3 and 4 to see if there is any more closer option. The government is elected by the people and can be removed by them. Can we do that? Artha agtidyಾ? Again at that, and whenever you see such options, please scratch it off. And once you scratch it off, you will get a confidence that, okay, I have already eliminated 2 options. My job is already half done. Let us see the next option. The government is chosen by the parliament but cannot be removed by it before completion of a fixed term. Agata? Is it also wrong? So our option is option B. Again, what is the takeaway from the last 5 questions we discussed? Features of parliamentary form of government has and will continue to be asked. Artha aita? Yes? Any doubts about this? One more question. 6th question. We adopted parliamentary democracy based on the British model. But how does our model differ from that model? As regards legislation, the British parliament is supreme or sovereign, but in India, the power of the parliament to legislate is limited. Yes or no? Yes, India does not have parliamentary supremacy, we have constitutional supremacy. Next nodi, in India, matters related to the constitutionality of the amendment of an act of parliament are referred to the constitutional bench by the Supreme Court. True or false? It is a correct option. Enaru extreme ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Are you seeing anything extreme? Any chances of changes in this statement? No. Okay, so again this was a straightforward question. Again, directly question coming on parliamentary form of government. Understood? Next, if we go to vice president, from which country has India borrowed its vice presidential model? Guarantee na? USA. Good. But there are difference between USA's model of vice president and Indian model. Please know about it. What is the main difference? If president dies, vice president will become the president there. But in India, if office of vice president becomes vacant, office of president, vice president can act as president only for 6 months. Just clarity. Wherever you see numbers, this is the area where UPSC can change. Understood? So now, again, if we read about vice president, what all should I be knowing about vice president? Because this year, chances of vice president coming in the exam is very, very high. I think most of you know why. Our former vice president, Jagdeep Dhankar he resigned. Okay? So again, whom did he write the resignation letter to? President. Guarantee na? Okay. Then, is there any time frame within which vice president should be elected? Ika president, if office of president falls vacant, within 6 months election should happen compulsorily. Constitutionally there. Is the same applicable to vice president? No. Itara time frame eno illa. Artha aita? And till now, how many vice presidents have resigned? 1, 2, 3, 4. Guarantee na? Yes, 3 vice presidents have resigned. And how many presidents have become, vice presidents have become presidents? Really? How many vice presidents have become president of the country? 2 na 6. I'll only give you option 2, 3, 5, 6. ಹೇಳಿ ಪ್ರಿಯಾ. ಓದ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಹೋಮ್ವರ್ಕ್. The answer is 6. And these are the things that are not there in our Lakshmikant, and this is the thing that UPSC will ask. Also, one more homework for you regarding Vice President. There is something called 11th Constitutional Amendment, and it is associated with the election of Vice President. Go back and read about this. Again, nowhere it is mentioned in our books. 11th Constitutional Assembly Amendment, and what is the relation with election of Vice President? Madhura ishto? Again, it is our duty to predict and prepare. Okay? Again, today, another 2 homeworks I will be giving, which you are going to read and come back tomorrow. And those homeworks we will discuss and start the other topics. Again, constitutional basis, Article 63, there shall be a Vice President of India. Chances of UPSC asking the article is very less. But what he will give, in Article 63 of Indian Constitution provides for Vice President of India. And during the exam 36, 63, 69, 16, 36 ella ulta agutte. So have a clarity that which article provides for Vice President? Article 63. Okay? Then again, it is a part of Union Executive, part 5 of the Constitution. Again, you should be knowing what are the components of Union Executive. What are the components? President, Vice President, Council of Ministers, Attorney General. What is the component of Parliament? Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, only President. Artha aita? Don't get confused between composition of Parliament and composition of Executive. Union Executive. Again, Electoral College. Remember, we discussed how questions on Electoral College of President was asked. Similarly, I should be knowing Electoral College of Vice President. Andre, who elects the Vice President? Again, content, let's go, because you will be reading it again anyways. Only MPs, and remember that even nominated MPs take part in the election of Vice President. But President electional, do they take part? No. Okay, only elected. Have this clarity. This is where UPSC is going to confuse you. And half of the question is solved just by reading the question, right? Reading the question. Voting, proportional representation, single transferable vote, secret ballot. Again, President do open a secret ballot. President also secret ballot. Yard open ballot? Only Rajya Sabha. Again, who is in charge of conduct of election of Vice President? Election Commission of India. True or false? True. And what is the requirements? Must be eligible for Rajya Sabha membership, 30 years and other conditions. Again, oath, membership restriction, and office of profit. Again, let us not go into the basics of this. Anyways, you are going to go back and read. But Vice President, andre, what all dimensions I should be reading? We should be knowing. Electoral College, eligibility criteria. Again, one more thing that we should be knowing, removal of Rajya Sabha or Vice President. What is the process of removal? UPSC, remember, they love to ask about removal of a person. Appointment eligibility usually very less, but they ask about process of removal. Judges of High Court regularly keltare. How is Vice President removed? Initiation in Rajya Sabha. Notice in kodbeka? Very good. 14 days prior notice kodbeka? Amele it is starts. What kind of majority? Effective majority in Rajya Sabha and simple majority agreed by Lok Sabha. Artha aita? You read this 3-4 times, revise. Nobody, you will never forget this. And UPSC has to ask you the same thing. Can UPSC manufacture anything out of this? He can? Definitely not. Amele, is there any ground for removal of Rajya Sabha? I mean the Vice President. Andre, because he is approved insolvent. Enaro adra condition idya? No condition is mentioned for removal of Vice President. Understood? Ground for removal not specified. And any dispute regarding the election of Vice President will be heard by Supreme Court. Yaar conduct madadu? Election Commission. Appeal ellogutte? Supreme Court direct agutte. Powers and functions, we all know. and has casting vote only, not an original vote. Andre Rajya Sabha, he does not have a normal vote. But whenever there is a tie regarding any vote, Rajya Sabha, Vice President, even though he is not a member of Rajya Sabha, because he is not elected, he will have the right to have a casting vote. When there is a motion for removal, can he sit and vote? ಈಗ ವೈಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ರಿಮೂವಲ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮೋಷನ್ ತರ್ತೀನಿ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಸಿಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೋಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್? he is not a member, how can he vote? So these are the important dimensions. See this, vice president acts as a president but not more than 6 months, during which a new president must be elected. Again, if you have not got the slides, let me know, I will forward you all the slides, first 2 classes also. Qualification done. Salary, very important. The vice president of India does not receive any salary as a vice president, but he receives the salary as the chairman of Rajya Sabha. Andre in constitution vice president ki salary antilla, but enanta ide, as a chairman of Rajya Sabha you are going to get some salary. And obviously when he acts as a president, will he get president salary or vice president salary? Or will he get both vice president and president salary? UPSC can ask you such kind of questions. Vice president and president salary eradu kodtare anta. It is only president salary that is going to be given. Again a comparison. Who gives oath to vice president? President. And have you heard of something known as order of precedence? Order of precedence ಅಂದ್ರೆ ranking ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ what preferable order they are present in. First is president, second vice president. So have an idea about the top 5 people at least. Again all the facts put together for revision. Yes, this is what we are talking about. The vice presidents who have gone on to become presidents and vice presidents who have resigned. For example, Sarvapalli Radhakrishna, again he who held the office of vice president for 2 terms. And did he go on to become the president? Sarvapalli Radhakrishna. Yes, he was one of the first vice president to become president. Then we had Zakir Hussain became a president. VV Giri, ಈ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ blue color? ಈ ಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರೋರೆಲ್ಲ they have gone on to become presidents, vice presidents. And K.R. Narayan was the most latest person who was a vice president who became a president. That can also be asked by UPSC. Who was the latest vice president to become a president? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? With the same content, he can manufacture a lot of questions. For that, you should have clarity. Who was the first vice president to become a president? Sarvapalli Radhakrishna. Who was the latest? K.R. Narayan. And recently also, Jagdeep Dhamkar has resigned from office. Hamid Ansari is the only vice president to serve 2 consecutive terms after Sarvapalli Radhakrishna. And till now we have had so many vice presidents. Only 2 vice presidents have had 2 terms. Who are they? Radhakrishna and Hamid Ansari. See, if you are, how much memory space do you need to remember it? Do you need too much memory to remember, or just have an idea about it? Because if such question is asked, you are going to get easily 2 marks. And you think UPSC will copy paste everything in the constitution, Lakshmikant, and ask you to get it right? 1 option out of 4 options will always be a factual option. Artha aita? Got it? Speed is okay? UPSC asks frequently, how many vice presidents have resigned? 3rd, who was the first vice president to resign? Guarantee na, don't trust me. Yes, the first vice president to resign was VV Giri. Again, because he contested the election of president, that is why he had to resign. Second yaro? R. Venkataramanan and recently Jagdeep Dhankar. Again, UPSC can give you names. These are the 3 people who have resigned as vice presidents. Repeat the names. VV Giri, R. Venkataramanan and Jagdeep Dhankar. These are the only 3 vice presidents who have resigned till today. Artha aita? Again, outside this, I doubt UPSC is going to ask anything else. Again, previous year trends based on vice president. He can ask us the electoral college difference. We discussed the electoral college of president and the vice president is the same. True or false? False. Okay. And do nominated members participate in vice president election? Yes. And removal procedure. Is the removal procedure of president and vice president same? ಅವನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, both president and vice president are removed in the same manner as a Supreme Court judge ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ. Is it true or false? Are you understanding? This is the only thing that UPSC can manipulate when it comes to removal. And what did we discuss? Removal ge 14 days and then effective majority agreed to upon by Lok Sabha for simple majority. Artha aita? Understood? See, we revised vice president in just 10 to 15 minutes. But if you sit in front of the book, it will need 1 hour. Because you should have a clarity what I am reading and what I am not reading. Ist clarity bandre, it becomes very, very easy for you to remember. Fine? Yes, let us start with judiciary. Again, as per the trend, usually 1 or 2 questions compulsory should be asked from judiciary. Observe, there is a trend. Every topic will be covered by UPSC at least once. So according to you, what questions are asked in judiciary in the last few years? Very good. Judicial review. Good. Jorage. Okay, judicial verdicts. Article 21 annakinta he will ask lot of judicial verdicts. Right to marry, right to internet, right to choose your partner anta keli Article 21 anta interpretation of judicial laws. Yes. Jorage. Okay, fine. Judicial custody. They've asked once. Good. Most important. Very good. UPSC's most favorite topic is jurisdiction. I'll give you minimum 7 questions in the last 10-15 years. And that is a hint for me that this topic should and will come in any of the coming years. See, nobody can predict what UPSC can ask next year. But you will have an idea and you can at least guess out of these 3 topics, 1 topic should be asked. Artha agta idea? Good. Jurisdiction is one of the most favorite areas of UPSC. Then petitions like special leave petition, kelila but can be asked, correct. PILs, public interest litigation, once or twice questions has been asked on public interest litigation also. Who was the judge who played a very important role in this? Bhagwati and Krishna Iyer. Krishna Iyer, okay. A question was asked directly like this. Anything else on judiciary? Very, very important and most important topic is writ jurisdiction. Please ensure that you have complete command over this writ jurisdiction. Very confusing. Certiorari, co-warranto, amele prohibition, mandamus. Mandamus, okay. Co-warranto is easy. Mandamus is also easy. First one, habeas corpus. Rest two are very confusing. Is it applicable only to judicial bodies or administrative bodies? So, these kind of things, make short notes and keep it aside. Because you can't revise entire polity 10 times. But these are the confusing things you are going to revise 10 times. For example, money bill, finance bill 1 and 2, usually confusing. I will identify this and I will keep a fact book where I am going to write down only this. For example, removal, what I will do, I have a confusion between the removal of speaker, removal of vice president. I will just write down removal and I will write all the removals in 1 page. Understood? So life becomes very easy 1 month before the exam. Write down, these are the short notes you are going to make. Removal, bills, writs. One more most confusing is emergency. The next week we are going to discuss the chapter of emergency. Emergency, special majority, simple majority, approve 3 months, 6 months. Tuma confusing ide. ಈ ತರದನ್ನ make short notes. Rajya Sabha, obviously you know what is the special power of Rajya Sabha. You don't have to revise it, but these are the things you are going to get confused and you should make notes. Understood? So jurisdiction, writ petition, judicial review. One more thing you observe. Again, UPSC has forgotten this topic but might come back again. High courts is another favorite area of UPSC, and also district courts. And if you observe, we also while studying kind of neglect this topic. Who will study this topic? But UPSC has asked a lot of questions about this earlier. I'll give you examples for this. And then one more very important topic that UPSC loves to ask. Collegium has not been asked. Once in 99th amendment they are directly asked. Why was 99th amendment scrapped? Independence of judiciary violation anta it was asked. Collegium, NGSC. Apart from this, one more very important topic, but it is not directly related to judiciary. ADR. What is ADR? Alternative dispute resolution. NALSA kelidira? NALSA and ADR, very favorite area of UPSC and underrated. Example in martivi while preparing, we will get diverted that I have to read polity so much, I will forget that these are the high rewarding topics for me. So these are the high rewarding topics you are going to revise multiple times. And next week when we do constitutional bodies, even I did not realize that after observing, I came across two patterns, and UPSC in the last 20 years has not changed that pattern at all. There is two bodies. UPSC asked minimum 7 to 8 questions on only two constitutional bodies. Which are these two bodies? Election Commission, third body. Inni eradide adru munche. Finance Commission and Attorney General. You observe, and UPSC has continued the trend. So Finance Commission next year also becomes very important. Artha agta idya? So ADRs, also known as, have you heard of NALSA? Full form, you know? National Legal Service Authority na agency na? Authority. Which article did it seek to implement? Very good. Article 39A, Directive Principle of State Policy. Shall we start? So again, MCQ format fine. Constitutional focus, Article 124 to 147, 214 to 237 for High Courts. No need to by heart, but some articles you should be knowing. For example, 142. What is 142? Complete justice. Okay. Special leave petition? 136. Good. Have an idea like this. UPSC will ask us two types. One is direct testing. Questions directly test the articles, parts or schedules of the Constitution. Directly a question will come. Or he will ask us applied and current affairs part of it. What according to you regarding current affairs of judiciary can be asked? Very good. Advisory jurisdiction, presidential reference. Are you reading the paper? 143. That can be a very high probable question. Right on, that is homework for next class. Presidential reference. Again, I want you to give me a 360-degree approach to this. And second homework is 6th schedule. Why is this homework being given? Current affairs. Ladakh is demanding 6th schedule. Understood? You predict, and within these current affairs topics, minimum 3 to 4 questions will and should come. And anybody can predict this, but it is our duty to be ready for the exam. Yes, the major categories of questions that are being asked. One is constitutional provisions directly related to Supreme Court or High Court. Andre Article 142. Which of the following articles aims to give complete justice? Anta, he has given 4 articles. Second, jurisdiction and powers. Original, appellate, advisory jurisdiction and writ powers under Article 32 and 226. Have you read about this Article 32 and 226? It's writ, the powers under writ petition is vaster for High Court or Supreme Court? High Court, not Supreme Court. Again, an exception. Yes. Correct. Artha agtidya? These are the things we are going to focus. Then judicial review, PIL, and the foundation of basic structure. Regularly he keeps asking. Directly kelala, indirectly he asks about basic structure. Then appointment and removal. He has asked a lot of times qualification to be a High Court judge, Supreme Court judge and a district judge. District judge gain qualification? 5 or 7? Understood? This 7 will become 5 or 10. To become High Court judge, how many years experience? 10 years. Supreme Court judge? Guarantee? 5 years? Sure? Are you understanding? This is where you are going to get confused. These are the areas where we are going to give more focus on. Impeachment. Again, impeachment question was asked in 2019-20, I think, because there was an impeachment motion brought about against the Chief Justice of India at that time. So whenever current affairs is there, UPSC will go back and ask the exact basics about this. Landmark judgments, we should be having an idea. Keshavananda Bharati, Indira Savni, and recent fundamental right rulings. Like Puttaswamy case. Have you heard of Puttaswamy case? Right to privacy. Hadia case. Marriage, choose your partner, etc. Shabanu case. And there, they'll give two options, Article 19 or Article 21. For example, right to choose your partner will come under Article 19 or 21. Why not 19? Supreme Court has told 21, that's all. Freedom of choice, I can prove it wrong, saying that what will happen, students will mark Article 19 and come. Then they will say, sir, I will prove it right. It's my freedom, no sir, I can marry whomever I want. But ultimately, what is UPSC reading? What is given in the Supreme Court judgment? And Supreme Court usually interprets through Article 21, right to life. Right to internet also, 21 only. And the last topic, subordinate courts, High Courts, Lok Adalat, Gram Nyalaya and ADR mechanisms. Alright. So these are the important topics that will come under judiciary. Always I request you, any subject you are reading, first have an idea about the subject and then go into the subject. Because you will know what you should read, how much to read and what you should not read also. Again, I'll share this slide with everybody. In case you miss out also, don't worry. Yes, the highest priority is original jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction and advisory jurisdiction. Again, sir, what is the empirical evidence, sir? Let us have some empirical evidence. Aram se, take your time and read. Which of the following are included in the original jurisdiction of Supreme Court? A dispute between Government of India and one or more states. Yes. Next, a dispute regarding election to either house of the Parliament or that of legislature of a state. Original law. A dispute between Government of India and Union Territory. Last one, a dispute between two or more states. Again, I don't want the answer here. I don't want the answer, but I want it to be registered in your head that what is the question he is asking? Original jurisdiction. Please put that in your head. Answer anyways, you will go back, say, open any book, they'll give you the answer. But I want this to be registered. How Parliament, what is registered in your head? Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, motions, procedures, bills, committees and funds. These are the most important, along with speaker. Artha agtidya? So this is what, once you feed, this is how artificial intelligence works. Have you heard of what? Machine learning. Feed these questions in your head, the same your brain is going to function like that. Let us come to question number 2. The power of the Supreme Court of India to decide disputes between center and state falls under. Original left handle mark ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. Again, sir, this is very rare question that UPSC will ask us such questions. And I just want to show 1996 UPSC has copy pasted that question. Option also has not changed. Is it the same? Are you seeing any change in words? Not even change in words. Understood? This is also one reason why I should be having a command over PYQs. But does it mean I will blindly mark the answer? I'll read the question. Read the question always. Answer is original jurisdiction. Correct? The Supreme Court of India tenders advice to the President on a matter of fact or law, first, on its own initiative, on any matter of larger public interest. Second, if he seeks such advice. Third, only if the matter relates to fundamental rights of citizens. Don't see options, like tell the answer like that only. Is one correct? Supreme Court never on its own usually does. Obviously, President should seek some. 3 only fundamental rights? No. Answer is? What is the answer? Again, I don't want the answer. What is the takeaway here? Question on jurisdiction, advisory jurisdiction. And while you are reading, one more thing, from now, make a habit to underline what is written. Write down. Again, when you are solving any test series, any question, make it a habit. Which of the following is correct or incorrect? Because many times, 1 or 2 questions, we make mistake in reading the question wrong. How many of you have made these errors? Test series are regular, incorrect. Which of the following are not correct? At that time, we get confused. So, what you do, you underline the question. So, it becomes easy and you will be more proactive also. Again, another question on original jurisdiction. The Supreme Court of India tenders advice to the President on a matter of law or a fact, A, on its own initiative. True or false? Just now we have seen. Second, only if he seeks such advice. Only if the matter related to fundamental rights, or only if there is a threat to unity and integrity of the nation. What is the answer? A na, B na, C na? B. Okay. Till now he asked what was the jurisdiction. Now he is asking who has the power to change the jurisdiction. Till now what did he ask? Types of jurisdictions. Again kelta. Now what he is asking, who has the power to enlarge or reduce the power of Supreme Court? Jurisdiction. Read the question properly. Again, this habit please don't carry into the exam. Question nodi takshana mark it off. Sometimes the easiest of the question will have the biggest of the traps. The power to enlarge the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of India with respect to any matter included in the union list of legislative power rests with. Answer is Parliament of India. Visible? Zoom ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಂಚ್ ಬರಬೇಕು. Take your time. First option, is it right or wrong? Indian Odidivi, Parliament can enlarge the. First option is. Second option, I'll read it for you. The officers and servants of the Supreme Court and High Court are appointed by the concerned Chief Justice, and the administrative expenses are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. State, though consolidated fund of the state in the it is charged. Okay, the judges of the and the local officers of the High Court, where is it charged? It is consolidated fund of the state, not center. Understood? And did you see that this line was repeated? I'll show you this line repeated now. Okay, I'll show it in the next coming slides. Artha aita, got an idea? What was the main topic we discussed now? jurisdiction, who has the power to alter the jurisdictions also. Then let us come to the 5 constitutional rights. Again, let us not go into details. Habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quo warranto and certiorari. Very easy to, confuse us by mixing all the 4. Yes or no? So that is why these are the things. Please make some short notes and keep it aside, so that you have a clarity between what is the difference between all the 3. Next, judicial review and basic structure. Does Indian Constitution provide for judicial review? ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು. Does Indian Constitution provide for judicial review? Is the word judicial review explicitly mentioned in the Indian Constitution? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ clarity? Again, Nikhil sir told no. Crows are black in color. Yes or no? Crows are black in color. True or false? All crows are black in color. Artha aita? If UPSC wants clarity, he will ask for clarity in the statement. Let us not assume anything from UPSC. Again, Article 32 versus Article 226. Very, very important difference we should be knowing between this. See, high courts, they have a broader scope because it extends beyond fundamental rights, whereas for Supreme Court, the jurisdiction is restricted to fundamental rights. Ishta clarity idre saku. Aita? And nothing else. UPSC Prelims is very simple if you know what is to be done. Outside this, UPSC also, do you think UPSC will always take, say, for example, 1 or 2 months to set the paper? UPSC, it is not like a test series. In our test series, what happens? Test series, the person setting the paper, he will try to change the statement so much, try to confuse you so much. Do you think UPSC has so much time to confuse you? He will just check your presence of mind and awareness. So don't think whatever you are solving in the test series, that is only for practice. Don't take the same mindset to UPSC Prelims. UPSC Prelims ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದ್ರು ತುಂಬಾ direct, straightforward ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? UPSC is going to be very straightforward and direct. And lot of people create that fear. Prelims is the toughest phase. Why is it so tough? Any reason? Why do you think UPSC Prelims is so tough? Students don't have clarity. Again, polity, geography, economy, environment, art and culture, ancient medieval, science and tech, international relation, agriculture, breathless ಆಗಿರುವ subjects. But I should be knowing what do I prioritize. In that, how much should I prioritize? If you read ancient medieval art and culture for 2.5 months, how do you expect to clear prelims? If you read a current affairs magazine, how will you expect to clear prelims? If you attend some course, again 6 months or 5 months you will attend course, how will you pass? And hundreds of people you see, especially prelims is coming, I will make you clear prelims, I will make you clear prelims. That person or that institute will not make you clear prelims. Who is writing the exam? You are going, so you should be mentally prepared for that. Score easily 100 plus marks, ast easy illa. Ee basics madre it becomes very, very easy. Alright? So what I request you to do is believe in yourself and believe in whatever we are discussing here. And go back and do the same exercise yourself. If that is done, every one of you can easily clear prelims. Alright? Judicial review. Again, elements of basic structure. Supremacy of constitution, rule of law, separation of powers, federal character, judicial review and independence of judiciary. The Constitution of India defines its basic structure in terms of federalism, secularism, fundamental rights and democracy. It is mentioned in article? No article. Is it mentioned? See how confidently he will give the statement. It is defined in the Indian Constitution. 90% of the things in Indian Constitution are not defined. Understood? So first option is wrong. Let us come to the second option. Constitution of India provides for judicial review to safeguard the citizens' liberty and preserve the ideals on which the Constitution is based. True or false? Again, understand the theme of the statement. Don't judge. Zoom out and see. You only don't make assumptions here. The Constitution provides for the judicial review. Is there judicial review in our Constitution? Provision. What is writs? What is Article 32? Yes, judicial review. He has not mentioned. Again, see here he has given you clarity. What has he given? Defines. If he needed clarity, he would have given the Constitution of India defines judicial review. Understood? So, don't make assumptions that he is asking so and so. Directly a question on Article 142, because Article 142 is one of the measures or one of the provisions that Supreme Court has been using very frequently of late. Okay. With reference to the Constitution of India, prohibition, limitations or provisions contained in ordinary law cannot act as a prohibition or limitation on the constitutional powers under Article 142. It could mean which one of the following? How many of you did not understand the question? Honestly, I will ask now. Question ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, 2 ಸತಿ ಓದಬೇಕು. But let us see the options. What is there? The decisions taken by Election Commission of India while discharging its duties cannot be challenged in any court of law. You only tell practical, is it correct? Okay, definitely wrong. Come to the next one. Supreme Court of India is not constrained in the exercise of its powers by laws made by Parliament. Again, I will explain it to you. Supreme Court of India is not constrained. Constrained andre ಏನು? Not limited in the exercise of its powers by laws made by the Parliament. Andre laws made by the Parliament cannot restrict the Supreme Court. True or false? Laws made by the Parliament cannot put a restriction on Supreme Court. True. Correct? Question ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Fine, I don't understand. Let us go to the third option. Let us try to eliminate other options. See the third option. In the event of the grave financial crisis in the country, the President of India can declare financial emergency without the counsel from the cabinet. ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಏನು ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆ? Is there any relation? Last, state legislature cannot make laws on certain matter without the concurrence of union legislature. If you apply logic, odd man out. 3 statements are senseless when it comes to the question. What is Article 142? I should be knowing. Only if I know, I am going to get this right. What is 142? To do complete justice, Supreme Court can pass any order or directive. Understood? Again here, I did not understand the question, but if I knew 142, this is the only option that is closest to 142. Madboda eliminate? Yes or no? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Again, next topic that is asked is, what are the provisions of Constitution to ensure independence of the judiciary? What are the conditions for appointment of the judges and how are judges removed? Okay, these 3 are very important concepts of judiciary to ensure independence. What do I ensure independence? Stability alla. Ensure independence means there is no interference from outside to the judiciary, because their salaries are charged on the consolidated fund. That's how nobody can interfere. Easy is the removal of judges easy or difficult? Difficult, so that nobody can easily influence the working of judiciary. That is what you mean by security or say independence. I told you there, the question repeated here. The salaries and allowances of the judges of High Court are charged to ಯಾವುದು? Consolidated fund of state or India? State. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Is it the second time he is repeating? He will repeat and he has to repeat that. Okay? So please, you take the 25-year question bank of whichever institute. Insights has brought a very good book. If you have it already, it is good. Please take the book and start observing all this. If you start observing, your mind also will run like UPSC, and your preparation, suppose earlier you were taking 25 days to read Lakshmikant, you will need only 10 to 12 days to read Lakshmikant, because you are learning how to read. Will you read page to page, word to word? Is it possible? You will need minimum 2.5 months. Understood? ಹೌದಾ? ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಇರಿ. At that time, states divide, I think. Okay, fine, sorry. Okay, this is a different question then. Okay, here the officers and servants of the Supreme Court and High Court are appointed by the concerned Chief Justice, and the administrative expenses are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India. Okay, so here, Consolidated Fund of India or state? This is also state or India? This is state. Okay, sorry, I think I read the question wrong. Check ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ. The pensions is with the state. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ. Pension is on India, salary is states. So we were right. Read the option again. The salary and allowances is state. Prepare ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನಗೆ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು 2 ನಿಮಿಷ. Okay, anyways, nice way to confuse. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Understood? Very good. Now you observed ಆ ಸ್ಯಾಲರೀಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅಲೋವೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್. Next, collegium, nothing great is there in collegium, but we should be knowing about 4 collegium cases. And 4 collegium, only first collegium, what is the difference, second, third, fourth, you should have an idea. Because in first collegium, consultation equal to concurrence. Second collegium, consultation not equal to concurrence, 2 Supreme Court judges and 1 Chief Justice. In third judges, 4 Supreme Court judges and 1 Chief Justice. ಕೇಳಿದೀರಾ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಕರೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಕರೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫಾಲೋ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಸೇಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಚೀಫ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ 2 ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ 1 ಚೀಫ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? And one more thing, I wanted to go back home today and read, how is the transfer of judges decided? Is there any parameter? And also I wanted to read about something known as memorandum of procedure. Why? Because this is not there in our Lakshmikant. This is what is actually determining how judges operate, or our Supreme Court, the higher judiciary operates. Memorandum of procedure. Is there any criteria mentioned in our in our constitution regarding transfer of judges? Yes or no? No or yes? Illa. Usually transfer of judges happens usually when there is an allegations of corruption or allegation of bias or of incapacity. That is when judges are transferred. Okay? Why? Because recently many judges were transferred, and one judge who was notorious, Yashwant Verma. So he was transferred to Allahabad High Court. Still he is a judge, or did he resign? He has not yet resigned. Everybody forgot it, because very high chances that judiciary, somebody can take on the judiciary. Okay, so I want you to go back and read about impeachment process of a judge and what is the procedure if there is any complaint on corruption of a judge. Today I want to file a complaint on a judge, Supreme Court judge, of corruption and incapacity. Is there any provision? If yes, where can I file a complaint? Artha agta idya? So why? Because Yashwant Verma case is in the news. UPSC can pick up this topic and go ask something about judicial accountability. Judicial accountability. This topic is not at all there in our Lakshmikant. And let us not be surprised when such questions come in the exam, because there is always a reason. And see, many of us have already forgotten that there was someone called Yashwant Verma. In another 6 months, completely forgot. So that is the reason whenever you come across this, you just write it down. Probably in your Polity Lakshmikant last page or in your class notes last page. So you will get clarity. These are the topics in the news. Out of the 20-25 topics, minimum 7 to 8 topics will be repeated. And the current affairs he won't ask, he will ask the complete basics about it. Again, impeachment of a judge, very important. UPSC has already asked. I'll just show you the question. The motion to impeach a judge of Supreme Court cannot be rejected by the Speaker of Lok Sabha as per Judges Act 1968. False. Okay. Now, now I can easily. So 3 is correct. I have to go see if 4 is correct or not. But you should be 100% confident that 1 is correct. Is 1 correct? Or wrong? Wrong. Yes. Come to second one. The Constitution of India defines and gives details of what constitutes incapacity and proved misbehavior of the judges of Supreme Court of India. Again, remember, ಏನು define agilla. Nothing is defined. That is why they have brought an act. Next, the details of the process of impeachment of judges of High Court are given in the Judges Inquiry Act 1968. Yes or no? Yes. So 3 is correct. If the motion for the impeachment of a judge is taken up for voting, the law requires the motion to be backed by each house of the parliament and supported by a majority of total membership of the house and not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. Correct. 2/3 and voting naapka idre saku. So answer is C. And there was a reason the question was asked. In that year, the opposition party leaders had brought about a motion to impeach the Supreme Court judge. That is why they picked up and asked the basics about this. He did not simply wake up from sleep and pick this question. UPSC never does that. Yes, high courts and subordinate courts. One of the most underrated topic and neglected topic when it comes to our preparation. So again, we should be knowing high courts, same appointment, removal and writ jurisdiction of high courts. Naapko jurisdiction of high court is wider than that of Supreme Courts. Okay. Along with this, the judges of high court are appointed by the governor of the state. True or false? The judges of the high court are appointed by the governor of the particular state. President. Artha aita? President. So don't get confused there. This is a question that has regularly been asked and UPSC has forgotten this topic and I don't know when he is going to come back to this topic. Common high courts, provision for multiple states and union territories sharing one high court. Because in India, I think a few high courts have jurisdiction for multiple states. 6, which 6? Please tell me. Check. Only states. I am not talking about union territory. Only states. 6 for union territories, you are right. Okay. Only 3 for states. We will discuss that. And subordinate courts, the judges are appointed by the governor in consultation with the High Court. E specificities observe madi. Please observe these small nuances. No high court shall have the jurisdiction to declare any central law to be constitutionally invalid. False. Okay. Second one, an amendment to the Constitution of India cannot be called into the question by Supreme Court of India. Correct, Agodi? True or false? Be confident. If I ask you second time, you will think twice to change your option. Same thing happens in your exam. First time you will mark it right. Then you will say, am I getting this answer so easily? That means there should be something wrong with the question. You start overthinking and you make another change. Please believe in yourself. Once you know that you are marking it, or your mind says that it is right, there is a reason why your mind is telling it is right. Because you have read it and you know it. Artha agta idya? So answer is? What is the answer? Are correct. No high court shall have the jurisdiction. Is it right or wrong? At that time, please mark like this. Next to the question, mark it. If you want, you can scratch it also. Some examiners will come and say, don't mark anything on the paper. Indian pooja madaka hogtivi exam ge. Hange heltare, don't mark anything ante. How can you solve? Our banda, okay sir, I will not know. Odmel matte scratch madi. Because this actually helps you in getting the answers. I mean, it makes your life easier. Mundu chukke idbada andre. And remember, he cannot go out of the exam hall without taking your question paper or your OMR sheet. He has to take your OMR sheet and only go out. Second option is also, answer is correct? Yes. Next. Any retired judge of the Supreme Court can be called back to sit and act as a Supreme Court judge by the Chief Justice of India with the prior permission of President. Yes, without doubt. Second, a High Court of India has the power to review its own judgment as the Supreme Court does. Yes, it has. High Court also are equally as powerful as Supreme Court in our country, except few regional jurisdictions. Okay? Again, what I am specifying, how many times UPSC is asking questions on High Court? We only think that, okay, only Supreme Court, High Court and district. By the time we go to the district court chapter, we will be tired of judiciary and we will skip that chapter. Actually, I used to do that. Never in my preparation, I have actually studied that chapter of district judiciary. Okay, but again, if you know what is to be done, it's just matter of 5 minutes. Okay, please have that patience to do these things. These are the things where you are going to get easy 2 marks in our exam. Again, I don't want the answer. I want you to observe what is being asked. I don't want the answer. What is being asked here? Number of high courts. How many high courts have common or have jurisdiction for more than 2 states? That is what he is asking here. And no union territory has a high court of its own. Judges of high court hold office till the age of 62. What is the age of judges? 62. Supreme Court? 65. Just clarity. No union territory has a high court of its own. Delhi. When you are confused, write down the union territories. Our first union territory, please write down Delhi. Delhi has its own high court. So, this is also wrong. 3 of them have jurisdiction over more than 1 state. True or false? Correct. Artha agta idya? These kind of questions have not come in the recent past, but can come back anytime again. And do you need energy to remember this? Tumba energy beka? Yen presence of mind. How many high courts are there in India today? 25 high courts. Good. So what is the answer for this? At that time, see, this question was asked in 2001. So the number of high courts will be different then. Okay? This we discussed. Madam, 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಶಾಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ನನಗೆ. Salary and allowances of judges of high court are charged on state guarantee na state pension. See, very good. If such things happen, you will never forget it again. It is very good to make mistakes in such times because it is one way you will never forget the topic again. Even I will not forget. Which one of the following high courts has a territorial jurisdiction of over Andaman Nicobar? How many of you don't know? It's okay. I mean, no shame in accepting that I don't know. I will learn it. Answer is Kolkata. $25 high courts. Common high court for Punjab, Haryana and Union Territory of Chandigarh. True or false? Correct. National Territory of Delhi has a own court. Correct? Again, take away Nili. UPSC 2 to 3 times has asked about common high court and how many high courts are there. And it will just need 5 minutes for you to read and revise this. And rather than skipping this topic, read so much and you can go ahead. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. Whenever you see such question, one suggestion, here next to the question, write down because. However, this question becomes very easy to solve. Because we will read 2 statements again 3 times. I will see, is this the correct explanation? Is this the correct explanation? Because when you solve these questions, you will come to know the difficulties. In India, every state has a high court in its territory. 100% wrong. Northeast, all northeast states don't have a high court. Second, the Constitution of India provides for a high court in each state. And in this question, if you know one statement is wrong, other question has to be obviously right. Because A is true, but R is false. A is false, but R is true. So, very good that if he gives any one of the 2 statements wrongs, you don't have to think whether it is a reason or not. And you observe UPSC gives a lot of such questions. A person who has held office as a permanent judge of High Court cannot plead or act in any court or before any authority in India except the Supreme Court. True or false? True or false? Take your time. This question has been asked 3 times, by the way. Second, a person is not qualified for the appointment of a judge of High Court in India unless he has at least 5 years held a judicial office in the territory of India. 5 or 10 na? Nanu gotilla. Guarantee na? Namel dari tapstira ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ. Yes. First option, is it right or wrong? It is wrong. Other high courts he can go and function except the high court where he has worked in. Okay? Other high courts he can go and work except the high court he was a chief justice in. Artha agta idya? This question only or this option will again, if he wants to ask the topic, same option he will pick up. Or do you think they will have so much time, they will open Lakshmikant, they will search which questions have already been exhausted, let me ask topics which are not asked. UPSC will not do that. They will ask somebody associated with constitution, give me 10 important questions from constitution. Inanta keltare 10 important questions. Probably they will tell, say this is the book, these are the type of questions you should not ask. That is how they will frame a question. Frame the question properly. If he is a retired high court judge, can he not practice anywhere? He can practice. He can definitely practice. I have seen many people, many judges taking voluntary resignation and then coming back to service. But check, go back and read this. Again, I told you, this class is not about teaching. It's about knowing what is being asked. The mode of removal of a judge of High Court is the same as that of removal of a judge of Supreme Court. True or false? ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಟ್ರೂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ರಿಟೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಆಫೀಸ್ a permanent judge of high court cannot plead or act in any court or before any authority of India. Wrong. Supreme Court ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗೋದು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ. And almost same ಇದೆಯಾ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್? The concept, is it the same? This is the theme. This is what we can also sometimes call as micro themes. Micro themes ಅಂದ್ರೆ themes ಒಳಗೆ themes. Themes is judiciary is a theme. Under this, which topics are being asked? That is what we call micro themes. Three answer. But ನನಗೇನು ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? So next year I should be knowing all this. For example, Punjab and Haryana High Court have a common code for Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh. Bombay High Court for Maharashtra, Goa, Daman, Diu, Nagar Haveli, and Guwahati High Court for Assam, Arunachal, Mizoram and Nagaland. Artha aita? Have clarity also. Anyways, UPSC asked it in PYQ. Let me know it also. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎಸ್. ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯರಿ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಯು ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್? ಜೋರಾಗಿ. ಕೇಶವಾನಂದ ಭಾರತಿ ಕೇಸ್, ಕೇಸ್ ಪುಟ್ಟಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಕೇಸ್, ಕೊಹೆಲೋ ಕೇಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ? ಕೊಹೆಲೋ ಕೇಸ್ 9th schedule, ಗುಡ್. ಮಿನರ್ವಾ ಮಿಲ್ ಕೇಸ್, SR ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಕೇಸ್. Okay, these are the most important cases. We should have a basic idea at least. And today reservation, the talk of reservation is the talk of the country. Please be careful about Indira Savani case. Don't be surprised why UPSC will ask this. Every state government is facing the problem of reservation. Artha agtidya? And also, I think 3-4 days back in the news, Assam was demanding scheduled tribe status to a lot of tribes. Okay? For me, I should be knowing a tribe's names and which state they are present in, and what is the procedure to make a tribe as a scheduled tribe. Okay. Recently, one more news. National Commission for Backward Class. They told that many tribes or many castes of this should be removed from backward class list. I think you have observed. I want to know what is the procedure to add one community to backward class and remove the community from OBC list. Creamy layer vartala list. For every state, if you observe, has a separate list. Karnataka has a list of castes for OBC, Athara. What is the process to include a community into OBC? We should be knowing. And what is the procedure to remove a caste from OBC list? Artha agtidya? UPSC likes to ask about these procedures. Again, Puttaswamy case. Any other case? Navtej Singh Johar case. I hope you remember Navtej Singh Johar case. (226) writs, yes. Appointment, these are the examples. Fine. Common high courts. I hope today at least this is a takeaway you should never forget. Common high courts, another UPSC was loving it a lot earlier. Now they have lost their love, but that love can come back anytime. Iವಾಗ ಅವನು ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ. See, I will tell you what UPSC does. He will have a list of questions. Continuously, he will keep asking the same theme. Once he gets bored, he will go back to his old theme and come back and ask a question. He cannot create a new theme because already he has exhausted all the questions. Artha agta idea? That is the reason I am stressing on this. While appointing the Supreme Court judges, the President has to consult the Chief Justice of India. True or false? Next, the Supreme Court judges can be removed by the Chief Justice of India only. Again, on purposely only and he will only spoil the statement to tell you that it is wrong. Okay, UPSC has a message while he was giving an option. Too wrong, guarantee na? Let us eliminate. Still we are stuck. Come to the salaries of the judges are charged on the consolidated fund of India, to which the legislature does not have to vote. Yes, Adit, that is what, remember, autonomy I told you. Charged expenditure, not voted by the parliament. So, 3 is correct or wrong? Okay. All appointments of the officers and staff of Supreme Court of India are made by the government only after consulting the Chief Justice of India. Correct or wrong? Wrong. Why? Supreme Court judges appoint the staff and officers. Artha agtidya? Again, if you didn't know that also, you have already got the answer. And one thing please observe, his love for funds. While doing Parliament also, I told you, he likes to ask questions about funds. That continues in other subjects also, I mean other themes also. According to Constitution of India, the term district judge shall not include chief presidency magistrate, sessions judge, tribunal judge, chief judge of a small cause court. Answer is tribunal judge. Again, odd man out hakoru sigatidu. Remember odd man out? So again, civil code, criminal code, Gram Nyayalaya, another favorite area of UPSC. And the last topic for judiciary is Lok Adalats and alternative dispute resolution. Understood how we divided and split the chapter of judiciary into multiple micro themes. Ishtralle questions barvek, ishtralle baratte. If you want to take a screenshot of this video, after the next prelims, you can come back and meet me also. He cannot ask you any other questions. And again, I am giving you evidence of last 25-year questions, not just 5 or 10 years. Lok Adalat, Gram Nyayalaya. Again, we'll discuss questions on this also. Very important, please remember that NALSA, Lok Adalat, is a statutory body. It is passed through an act known as Legal Services Authority Act 1987, Article 39A. Okay? And your brain should run, when was Article 39A added to the Constitution? Guarantee, na? 42nd, 1976 guarantee, yes. Understood? Try to link your brain like this. How many times has directive principles been amended by the Constitution? 4 times. This is clarity earliest. Permanent Lok Adalats. The highest criminal court of the district is the Court of District and Sessions Judge. Yes. Second, the district judges are appointed by the governor in consultation with the High Court. Governor President. Governor, correct agide. Okay. Third, a person to be eligible for appointment as a district judge should be an advocate or a pleader of 7 years standing or more, an officer in judicial service of the union or the state. Correct, 7 years. High Court ge 10. Supreme Court ge guarantee na. Can a legal expert become the judge of Supreme Court? High Court? Can a legal expert become a judge of Supreme Court? Can a legal expert become a judge of High Court? Check ಮಾಡಿ. ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. These are the exceptions UPSC will search and find. Manu, PS hair optional. My heart is crying. ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಕಾಂತ ಅರ್ಧ ಕುಡ್ದಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ. ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ? ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಚಾನ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. 99% ಇಲ್ಲ. 1% ಟು ಯು. ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ವಿಶ್ ಜೂರಿಸ್ಟ್ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೈ ಕೋರ್ಟ್? ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ಹೈ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ವಿಶ್ ಜೂರಿಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್ as a judge for ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹೈ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲೇ UPSC can confuse us. I told legal expert, distinguished jurist, I think both are You can see it as read it as the same. Come. When the sessions judge awards a death sentence, it must be confirmed by the High Court before it is carried out. Yes, illan session court alli ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಸಾಯಿಸ್ತಾರೋ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Again, what is our takeaway from this topic? District courts ಅನ್ನೋದು very neglected topic. Have some basic reading about this. Let us come to the last topic of judiciary. Lok Adalats. First, can you go for both civil and criminal cases in Lok Adalats? Civil and criminal or bari civil? So easy to confuse you. But you will also confuse me, that is the problem. Nikhil sir is also absent today, my polity expert. Both. You will come to know. Which of the following can this go for Lok Adalat? Disputes with mobile cellular companies, motor accident case, pension cases. Yella hogodu. Okay? Everything can. An award made by the local Adalat is deemed to be a decree of civil court and no appeal lies against there to any court. Yes, 100% correct. Don't say, sir, I can go to High Court, Supreme Court. No, this is correct. Okay, this is an exception. And matrimonial and family disputes are not covered under Lok Adalat. 90% cases of Lok Adalat is only family case only, majority. So even family cases are covered under Lok Adalat. Again, it's okay if you don't know the answer. What is the topic where we are going to go and read? Lok Adalats. Artha aita? When was Lok Adalat started in our country? Who is the chief patron of Lok Adalats? Okay, who are the people who are sitting as judges in Lok Adalat? Idina you go back and read. First statement, Lok Adalats have the jurisdiction to settle matters at pre-litigation stage and not those matters pending before any court. No, okay, you don't know, let us see the other three options, don't judge. Lok Adalats can deal with matters which are civil and not criminal in nature. It can deal with both civil and criminal. Okay? Every Lok Adalat consists of either serving or retired judicial officers only and not any other person. Wrong. Any other person, ಕೆಲವರು administrative capacity, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ appoint ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. So, here also, you can take any other matters also to Lok Adalat. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Again, for me, it's okay if you don't know the answer, but ಈ Lok Adalat ಅಲ್ಲಿ exceptions ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Getting it? NALSA, National Legal Service Authority. Its objective is to provide free and competent legal service to the weaker sections of the society on the basis of equal opportunity. True or false? Whenever you are reading such question, see if there are any facts, see if there are any extreme statements, or is it a generic statement. This looks like a generic statement. Ella copy paste madangidya. Then it issues guidelines for the State Legal Service Authority to implement legal program and schemes throughout the country. Again, idral enaru extreme kanasta idya? Are you seeing anything violent or extreme? It is just guidelines. So both are correct. Fine. Again, this kind of was a bouncer question. It's okay if you don't get these questions right. But again, same NALSA question. In India, legal service authorities provide legal service, free legal service to which of the following types of citizens? Person with annual income of less than 1 lakh, transgender annual income less than 2 lakhs, OBC less than 3 lakhs, all senior citizens. All senior citizens kantu kodalla. 2 guarantee aito. 1 na 3 na nodಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಈಗ. 2 is guarantee. Check if it is 1 or 3. Which is highly likely. Will they choose a backward class with 3 lakhs or poor person less than 1 lakh? Poor person less than 1 lakh. Again, E question, if you don't attempt also, it is fine. See, we are not gods. And outside the exam hall, I can come and give you a show saying that it is so easy question, see, we can do this. That is a post-mortem I am doing. And for your brain to run like this in 2 hours is very difficult. Understood? So let us not expect us to be superhumans in the exam hall. But if you are normal humans also, you can clear the exam. ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಐ ಸಿ ಇಫ್ ದರ್ ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟೆಲ್. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಹಾಲ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಎನಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. But in the 2 hours, no, your brain will not function. East will look like west, north will look like south. You will doubt yourself. So, adike question neatag if you read and if you observe the basics, that is enough. And how much is the cutoff? ಎಷ್ಟು cutoff? Last year 93 to 95. Not even 50 questions. And again I stress polity, economy, geography. Highly predictable also. Economy 5 questions minus ಮಾಡೋಣ. Science and tech, modern history, IR, again another set. I am purposely not writing environment because environment anything is being asked nowadays. Current affairs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ 5 to 6 questions. But if you have a hold over these subjects, easily you are scoring 100 marks. Understood? I have not even spoken about agriculture, ancient medieval, art and culture. Ancient medieval minimum 3 easy questions will come. We can easily get 3 questions there. All right, please calculate and invest your energy. All right. Next, one more very important regarding judiciary is Gram Nyayalaya Act. This act ಬಗ್ಗೆ 1 or 2 times question has been asked, so it is our duty to know about this. Outside this, anything cannot be asked from judiciary chapter. Artha aita? Again, let us try to go back and revise. What are the micro themes that we observed in judiciary today? I want you to participate. First micro theme ಏನು? Jurisdiction, advisory, appellate ಮತ್ತೆ original jurisdiction. Then what did we discuss? Judicial review, correct? Important case laws. Then we got basic structure, high court. Did you see many questions on high court? Then removal and appointment is favorite area, and charged on fund, consolidated fund. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಷ್ಟೇ ನಮಗೆ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್. ಫೈನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ADRs, alternate dispute resolution mechanisms. So if you prepare like this, life becomes very easy. Try to develop this habit, and whenever you go back home, you open PYQ and then you see whatever I told is right or wrong. I have brought examples here, but only if you go and do this process, it will stay in your head for a long time. Artha aita? Let us go to the next topic. Again, Gram Sabha will not take a lot of time. Again, I have put everything together in a single file so that you can go back and revise also. Artha aita? And again, I am putting in a lot of effort before coming into the class. I am not copy pasting and coming. Minimum 2 days I am investing on this before I come and tell you. Sumne bandi free anbuttu naven sumne kaatacharak barta illa illi. Me or Nikhil sir. Unfortunately, Nikhil sir was not well today. Okay? So, and I did not want to cancel the class. There is a lot of hard work that is being put in here also. So, please make the most of it. Again, jurisdiction, review, independence, landmark case, high court and ADR. Again, importance wise nodidre in judiciary, this is a graph we can use. Again, more precision over volume. Again, don't go and solve 125 questions. Pick up any one test series, solve all the polity questions. What will happen? I see students, some student had come, so somebody had told us you have to solve 150 question papers before you go to UPSC Prelims. 150 question papers and how many questions? 150 into 100, CSAT question. Huh? 1,500 or 15,000? Madam, 150, 2 zeros, 15,000. And do you see, it's not just you are solving, you have to go back and revise, see what mistakes you are making in the test. 15,000 questions. So, I personally do not suggest doing that. Pick one test series, do the entire test series properly, identify your strength and weakness and progress accordingly. Okay? And some students I see, first 3 tests, one institute, next 3 tests, another institute, next 3 tests, another institute, then they will do a full end test. Okay? Don't do that. Pick one institute, and for example, insights if you are following, start from first test to the last test. Artha aita? Yes, grassroot democracy, very important topic mentioned in our prelims syllabus. Have you seen the prelims syllabus? How many of you can tell me the prelim syllabus? ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳಿ, ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್? ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಆರು ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ಒನ್ ಲೈನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ಆರ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್? ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ದ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್? ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಬಿ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. How many of you don't know the prelim syllabus? ಎತ್ತಿ ತಪ್ಪೇನಿಲ್ಲ. It's no shame. At least today you can read the syllabus before 6 months. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತಾ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಡ ನನಗೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಹಾಫ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇಂಜರಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಆರ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್? ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್. ಈವನ್ ಐ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಡ್ all 6 prelims, but after I came to teaching I saw the syllabus. ನಾನು ನೋಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವಾಗ, ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಇಫ್ ಐ ನೋ ದ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಐ ನ್ಯೂ ಹೌ ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್ PYQ, ಐ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಹೈಯರ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ನ ಹೋಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ರಾಜ್, ಅರ್ಬನ್ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಬಾಡೀಸ್, and again I will just give you a brief and 5 to 6 questions we will see on how questions are coming from this topic. Has anybody gone through Panchayat Raj? Any questions you know? What should I be knowing about Panchayat Raj? A committee recommendation. Tires. UPSC has asked one tire question. Good. Very good. PESA Act, very important. Gram Sabha powers nalli define ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Which committee PESA? Buria committee. Okay. Has been asked by UPSC. I'll tell it to you. Buria. Anything else? Finance. 11th schedule, 12th schedule. Kelidira? UPSC loves to ask schedules. And then how many names are there in the list? 29 and 18. Guarantee na? Have an idea. Adanu interchange ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Which part? Part 9 is panchayats, part 9 is ಮುನಿಸಿಪಾಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಷ್ಟು ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ತಗೊಂತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಗುಡ್. ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಿ ವಿಚ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಲಂಟರಿ. ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್? ಟು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಪವರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಟು ದ ಲೋಕಲ್ ಬಾಡೀಸ್, ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಪವರ್, ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಲಂಟರಿ. ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ ವುಮೆನ್ 1/3, ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಶೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರೈಬ್. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್. ಗ್ರಾಮ ಸಭಾ, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್. Okay, anything else? Broadly ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇರೋದು. ಗ್ರಾಮ ಸಭಾ and gram panchayat difference. What is the difference between gram sabha and gram panchayat? Gram sabha is applicable for tribes. Panchayat general merit. Gram panchayat is based on population. Gram sabha is based on. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. We will not think why. Gram Sabha is the list of entire voters in the village. Gram Panchayat are elected members. What Gram Sabha andre no? The list of voters, people eligible to vote in the area is known as Gram Sabha. Again, direct questions on constitutional provisions. Part 9, 11th schedule, 74th amendment, Part 9A, 12th schedule. Okay, idu very very important. UPSC has asked lot of questions. Again, mandatory versus voluntary provisions. Highly common and tricky questions. Mandatory andre direct election of members. Voluntary andre giving representation to MPs or MLAs. You go back and read, you will come to know. But idu compulsorily you should be knowing which are the compulsory and voluntary provisions. Have you heard of State Election Commission? Yes. Is it a constitutional body? Yes. State Finance Commission? Yes. Article number ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Okay, ಈ ತರ small things. I don't want you to buy every article. ಈ articles ನನಗೆ important. Key statutory bodies fine, not needed. Gram Sabha and ward committees. PESA very important. Yes, first important topic. 73rd and 74th amendment mandatory provisions. ಆ 3 tier ಗೆ minimum population ಎಷ್ಟು? I'll ask you a question. The 73rd Amendment mandates a 3-tier local Panchayat Raj for all states. True or false? False alva. Ya state ge 2 tiers. Very good. Population less than 20 lakh. Population less than 20 lakh adre 2 tier. Greater than 20 lakh 3 tier. Artha aagta idea. It's there in our Lakshmikant. This chapter ode ilva. You have one chapter, 73rd, 74th Amendment, Panchayat Raj and urban local bodies. How many types of urban local bodies are mentioned in the Constitution? How many types of urban local bodies are mentioned in the Constitution? Please Google and tell me. Check. Again, don't take it personally. Eight types. Municipality in the chapter ತಗದು ಓದಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. 8 types. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Come back. Again, 11th schedule, 29 subjects. 12th schedule, 18 subjects. Again, no need to by heart what is the entire list. If you have an idea, ಯಾವ schedule ಎಷ್ಟು list ಅಂತಿದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. And UPSC loves to crisscross. What am I crisscross? 11th schedule, 18 subject, 12th schedule, 29 subjects. At that time, I told you, numbers 11, 12, 13, 14, all numbers will be visible. So, but if you have clarity, if you have revised 4-5 times, these are the easiest questions you can easily get marks. State Election Commission and State Finance Commission know their constitutional backing, their functions and the appointment authority. Governor is in charge. State Election Commission appointed by Governor, removed by President. Adon unique ide. State Election Commissioner appointed by Governor, removed by President. Okay. State Election Commission 243K for Panchayat, ZA for municipality, appointed by the Governor. They conduct the election to local bodies. There is no role of Election Commission of India in conducting the election of local bodies. Election Commission of India conducts elections only for Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha ge? Yes sir. President, Vice President. State Legislative Council ge? Election Commissioner, State Election Commissioner. Election Commission of India or State Election Commission? Guarantee na? Understood? Ee tara minute things you observe. If you know this, you are very well read in polity. State Finance Commission 243I and 243Y. Very easy to remember. I and Y. Okay. I and Y. Enadu? State Finance Commission. PESA Act. Why PESA Act is important? Correct. Panchayat extension to scheduled areas. So, what is the difference between PESA and our normal Panchayat? Only one main difference ide. Correct. Schedule areas. Correct. Innone point ide. In the normal Panchayat, Gram Sabha functions are not defined. In PESA, Gram Sabha functions are defined. Bardidare enu anta. Understood? In normal Panchayat, Gram Sabha powers mention illa. But in PESA, they have defined what exactly is the power of Gram Sabha. This is a major difference. Control over minor minerals, control over money lending in tribal areas. That is what is mentioned. In normal Panchayatal, barde iladu. Arthakti, there are differences, small things. Again, minor forest produce, land alienation, mining license, all this, there is powers of Gram Sabha. But normally, Gram Sabha powers is not mentioned at all. Kelidira Gram Sabha, Panchayat Raj, you are remembering, or it is like going above your head? Again, other topics, committees and evolution. Committees anta bandaga, District Planning Committee and Metropolitan Planning Committee, two important committees when it comes to Panchayat Raj. We should be knowing. Repeat the two committees. District Planning Committee and Metropolitan Planning Committee. And also obviously, Balwant Rai Mehta Committee, Ashok Mehta Committee, etc. Which committee recommended giving constitutional status to Panchayat Raj? Singhvi committee. Okay, LM Singhvi committee. Again, Anganta, don't go home now, open our Panchayat Raj, by heart the provision of Balwant Rai Mehta, Ashok Rai Mehta, Singhvi, don't do that. Balwant Rai Mehta said 3 tier, our Ashok Mehta said 2 tier, our LM Singhvi said give constitutional status. If you know that much, enough. Again, know the difference between district planning committee and metropolitan planning committee. Again, what is the difference between Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat? Idhe Gram Sabha. You are a Gram Panchayati member. Are you understanding? Gram Sabha, all the elected whoever is in the voter list, they are our Gram Sabha. You are a Gram Panchayat member. He is elected. Understood the difference? Gram Sabha, body of all voters. Gram Panchayat, elected executive body. Few questions and we'll conclude for today. Again, common sense and very easy questions. Local self-government can be explained as an exercise in federalism, democratic decentralization, administrative delegation, direct democracy. All questions look very close here. All options are close. It's not elimination. First, federalism. What is federalism? It is a form of government where there is constitutional division of power between center and constituent units. Aduko, it does not look close. Democratic decentralization, this is the closest option. Administrative delegation. One more is direct democracy. What is direct democracy? Gram Sabha is an example of direct democracy. But here, the closest answer is democratic decentralization because local self-government demonstrates this. I mentioned the answer also there. Anyways, I don't want the answer here. What is he asking? Core demand of the question? PESA Act. What is which one of the following is not identified as its objectives? Again, while you are reading, what are you going to underline? Not identified. Don't jump before you. Okay, this is another takeaway from today's class. Underline whenever you are reading correct or incorrect. Correct or not correct. Again, here we are observing that our parliamentary form of government kind of questions. They are checking your knowledge or understanding of Panchayat Raj. Take your time. The fundamental object of Panchayat Raj system is to ensure which among the following? People's participation in development. Yes. So one is guarantee correct. Let us delete this. Okay. Political accountability. Political accountability. Political. Does not look correct. Political accountability. Third, democratic decentralization. Blindly. So 3 ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೊಬಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ನೀವು ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ಪವರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಎತ್ತಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಆರ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಮನಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೇರ್? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಅ ಮೇನ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್? ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ 1 and 3 only. Again, sometimes some people 1, 2, 3, 4 all the above ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. Be very careful because there are some people who teach if everything looks correct, if you see all the above, mark all the above. So don't have that habit. Develop the habit of seeing every option, checking it, and you should also know why I am removing this option. Political accountability is, you've seen Panchayat Raj. Is there any political accountability there? Have you observed any terms and conditions? No. Same thing again. Okay. Again, this is one question. I think it's not there in our Lakshmikant. If a panchayat is dissolved, elections are to be held within. Guarantee na? 6 months. Okay, fine. If elections are held within 6 months, the term of the new panchayat is 5 years remaining. Till that question was asked, everybody thought that again they will have another 5-year term, because nobody of us knew when we marked that. Only after that question appeared in UPSC, we all came to know, okay, rest of panchayat is only remaining term anta. Okay. What is the minimum age to contest an election in Lok Sabha? 25. Rajya Sabha? 30. State Legislative Assembly? 25. Panchayat? 21. 21 years. Okay. Municipality? 20. Panchayat ಅಂತ ಹಂಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. Eleventh schedule of the Constitution relates to subjects under the jurisdiction of panchayats. True or false? True. What is anti-defection law? Distribution of power between union and states. Guarantee na? Good. And list of languages? 8. Again, these are things we will discuss in the last class, last polity session. Okay. And first schedule? Union and its territory. Second? Third, I think I have told you third. Third is oath. Satyavanni helutene. 3 sati oath ತಗೊಂತೀವಿ. Just try to remember, 3 times you will take oath. Means 3 is oath. 2 is salary, emoluments, etc. 4 is Rajya Sabha. 5 scheduled areas. 6 schedule. Yes, 4 states are there. Good. 7 division of powers are union list, state list, concurrent list. Good. Amele 8 is languages. 9 schedule. Yes, good. 10 anti-defection. Please by heart all this, and parts also. How many parts are there? 25 parts. Guarantee? Next homework for next class, by heart the parts and come. Or else I will teach you how to by heart in the class. Parliament enacted the law for the extension of provisions of 73rd Amendment to scheduled areas on the recommendation of which committee? And then it's marked there. Answer is Bhuria committee. Please have an idea. Committees, UPSC loves to ask questions about these committees. Good, Suresh. Gram Sabha has the power to prevent alienation of land in scheduled areas. Yes. Gram Sabha has the power of as the ownership of minor forest produce. Recommendation of Gram Sabha is required for granting prospective license or mining license for any minerals in the scheduled areas. Yes or no? Minor minerals. Minor minerals. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಿನರಲ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಪವರ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಮೈನರ್ ಮಿನರಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ರಾಜ್ಯಸಭಾ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಸಭಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪವರ್ಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಪೆಸಾ. ಎಸ್, ಗುಡ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? The minimum age prescribed for any person to be a member of panchayat is 25 years. 100% wrong. A panchayat reconstituted after premature dissolution continues only for the remainder period. 100%. Till this question was asked, nobody knew it. A question ಕೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ everybody became punters in this. The 73rd Amendment Act provides for constitution of district planning committees, state election commission to conduct all panchayat election, establishment of state finance commissions. Don't believe that. People can change colors. Answers also can change colors. 2 and 3. Why? Because a district planning committee comes under 74th Amendment Act, not 73rd Amendment Act. Adon be careful. District planning committee andre urban and rural areas, both plans will be brought together to have a district plan. That provision is there not in 73rd but in 74th Amendment Act. Again, the minimum age required to contest election in Panchayat, 21. Again, which of the following is the largest and the most foundational unit in the Panchayat Raj system? A largest, don't fall for that, it is a trap. Answer is Grama Sabha only. Most foundational unit. Andre ade basic of Panchayat Raj. The local self-government in India is a subject mentioned in union list, state list, concurrent list, residuary list. Guarantee na? Yes. Okay. How many of you heard about this Metro Planning Committee today? Metropolitan Planning Committee for the first time? And the second time must. Again, please, committees, whenever you see committees, please be very active and please give attention to this. Let us read. In India, a Metropolitan Planning Committee is constituted under the provisions of Constitution of India. True or false? True. It prepares the draft development plans for metropolitan area. If you don't know also, what is Metropolitan Planning Committee? Planning Committee ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? Planning ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ? So option 2 is correct. I don't have a notion in my mind. Because I have not studied doesn't mean I will not solve it. Don't have that attitude. Because by reading the option, you can get a lot of idea here. See, last one. It has the sole responsibility for implementing government sponsored schemes in the metropolitan area. ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ, have you read this anywhere first? You should have known about this. Option 3 correct or wrong? Sole responsibility. ನೋಡಿ ಅವ್ನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು told sole responsibility. Obviously it is wrong. Answer is 1 and 2. I don't have to know about 1 and 2 now. 3 is 100% wrong. Answer is going to be 1 and 2. So this is about the topic of Panchayat Raj. Again, just to revise, what all should you be knowing? Constitutional provision 73rd, 74th, compulsory voluntary provisions, the committees that come under that. PESA you should be knowing. PESA andreno Panchayat extension to scheduled areas. Understood? These are the broad themes that we are going to read Panchayat Raj under. And after this, go back and see the PYQs. Also, my suggestion, don't read PYQs just to get the answer right. See PYQs to get an idea what the examiner thinks like before setting a paper. Because half of the students I know, sumne PYQ tak they will get questions, they will get the answers right. Your job is not to get the answer right, but to know what he will ask. Removal will tumba focus ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, these things you will get an idea only by observing this. Apart from this, it is your duty to go back and read compulsory and voluntary provisions 5 times. Nobody else can teach that to you. But if you have an idea, make short notes, go and revise the same thing again. Fine? Any doubts about today's session? Also, meanwhile, I'll just share my Telegram ID so that in case anyone wants the slides, I will forward it to you. Everything in small alphabets. KN, SHA, SHA, NK. So, what are the remaining topics? What are the remaining topics in polity? Speaker, we'll do speaker next time. Bodies, especially constitutional bodies, statutory bodies, polity, fine, but nothing much has come. I'll give you an example also that not much has been asked. Then parts and schedules, yes, very good, thank you. Emergency. Here please give more preference to emergency, speaker and bodies. And any other miscellaneous topics, for example, fundamental rights, there is a small, tricky question that UPSC asks, that also we'll discuss. Understood? In case you want me or Nikhil sir to discuss anything else apart from this, let us know that we'll include that also. And this is going to continue till when? April. We'll have most probably 4 weeks per subject. Polity admele we'll go to economy and geography because these are the most important. Okay, polity, economy, geography, 45 questions come. Then we'll go to science and tech, IR, etc. Arda aita? Any doubts? What was the takeaway of today's class? I want this to go to your head. It should stay in your head. What are the takeaways? One, judiciary and panchayat raj we discussed. What are the themes? Along with this, I told you what are the other do's and don'ts. Correct, incorrect. I am going to underline whenever I see a question. Any other hint we discussed? Assertion, reasoning. Statement 1 and 2 kottaga, right because. Make it a habit there. Okay. Any other trick? Same word in 2 statements. Either of them is correct. See, I don't want to teach you tricks first. I want you to know how to learn. Tricks and all last class we'll discuss. Because if I teach you tricks now, you will never learn. Okay, tricks should be like Utu jute upinkai. Upinkai ne uta madare. You know what is going to happen. You are not going to clear if you believe only on tricks. But please believe in your knowledge. That is enough. Okay. Thank you. And again, we'll see you next week, same time. Okay.